It was supposed to be the war to end all wars, a conflict that would reshape borders, dethrone empires, and change the world forever. But it would also leave behind a trail of devastation and heartbreak, unlike anything the world had seen before. This is the story of World War I. The early 20th century was a time of innovation and optimism. Europe was thriving, and few could imagine that it would soon be engulfed in a conflict that would claim millions of lives. But beneath this facade of peace, tensions were brewing. The spark? The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria in Sarajevo, June 1914. A single bullet triggered a domino effect that would plunge nations into a war none were prepared for. The alliances were complex. On one side, the Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. On the other, the Allied powers, France, Britain, Russia, and later the United States. Each nation drawn into the war by treaties, ambitions, or age-old rivalries. The war quickly bogged down into a brutal stalemate. Soldiers fought in muddy trenches, enduring freezing winters, relentless artillery bombardments, and new horrors like poison gas. Over 4 years, more than 8.5 million men would die on battlefields from the Western Front to the Middle East. World War I was unlike any previous conflict. The Industrial Revolution had introduced terrifying new weapons. Tanks, machine guns, and aircraft turned battles into slaughterhouses. But despite the mechanized nature of the war, soldiers often fought for inches of land, with little hope of victory. In 1917, a new player entered the fray, the United States. Fresh troops and resources helped turn the tide against the Central Powers. But it wasn't just America that decided the outcome. Years of blockades, failed offensives, and internal strife weakened the Central Powers from within. By November 1918, the guns finally fell silent. The Treaty of Versailles was signed, officially ending the war. But peace came at a cost. Germany was left humiliated, the Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires dissolved, and a generation was left scarred by the trauma of war. Yet, the end of World War I was not the end of conflict. The seeds of resentment planted in 1918 would grow into the horrors of World War II, just 2 decades later. The world had been forever changed by the events of the Great War. And we're still living in its shadow today. World War I was a tragedy that reshaped nations, ideologies, and identities. It serves as a reminder that even in times of peace, the forces of conflict can be lurking just beneath the surface. This is the legacy of the war to end all wars.